Bali, one of the 17,000 islands of the largest archipelago of the world, Indonesia. Around 6,700 of these islands are inhabited. Indonesia is the fourth largest country on Earth, with over 185 million people. Its surface would reach from northern Europe to North Africa should one match its map over that of Europe's. The volcanoes, seats of the gods, are located in the center of the island. The highest volcano, Gunung Agung, 3,000 meters above sea level, means the center of the world, or navel of the earth to the islanders. All vegetation zones of Southeast Asia are united on this island. Here in the mountains, by car one can drive up to about 1,200 meters above sea level. There are no more palm trees. Besides all the tropical fruits, vegetables, and spices, the vegetation here is similar to those in our own mountains. Cold mountain lakes, pine trees, fruits, and vegetables. The northeast part of the island, it is a poor and dry area. Cactus and the unpretentious lontar palm tree still prosper here. Indonesia is a country with around 300 different ethnic groups. With over 250 completely different languages, Indonesia is the largest Muslim country in the world. Bali is surrounded by Muslim islands. To the west, the island of Java, and to the east, the island of Lombok. The island of Bali itself is about 154 kilometers long from east to west and 80 kilometers wide from north to south. This makes about 5,600 square kilometers, with a population of 2.9 million people. In the northwest of the island, it is again a very different landscape. Grape vineyards in the middle of rice fields and tobacco fields in the dry regions. In the Midwest of Bali, we find a rainforest so densely overgrown with hanging vines, ferns, and giant orchids that visitors have difficulty in walking through. Three lakes are nestled in this densely overgrown mountain world. A mountain chain of volcanic origin stretches over the entire west-east axis of Bali and covers about 3/4 of the island's surface. In the south, on the Bukit Peninsula, we have red soil and limestone, where is located the southernmost temple on the island, Pura Uluwatu. With volcanic soil, high humidity, and a plentiful water supply, the other regions of Bali can sustain rich tropical vegetation. Just 8 degrees south of the equator, in Bali it is virtually harvest time the whole year round. Blossom and fruit can often be found on a plant at the same time. For example, blossoms and berries on the same branch of a coffee tree. Rainfall is copious and frequent in the mountains of Bali, which serve as the water reservoir for the entire island. The top-down irrigation system works on gravity feed without any electric pumps. The pressure of the water is led through various channels, tunnels, and even bamboo pipes. The Balinese live in a world of sharing. The outstanding sense of community has developed since about 2,000 to 3,000 years ago and is a direct continuation of the wet rice culture. Wet rice agriculture requires a multiply branched, very complex irrigation system that flows through the mountains of the island and becomes even more complex due to the changes between rich and poor rainy seasons. Already, the oldest written documents of Bali describe the subak, a cooperative of rice farmers in which all members are united together and their rice fields irrigated by one and the same irrigation system. At a subak meeting, decisions are reached about such as when to begin to plant or harvest, what kind, what schedule, and what quantity of fertilizers and pesticides should be used, convenient times to carry out the necessary religious ceremonies,
Kapur ya Pak.
In the landscape of Bali, a unique culture and religion are united, unlike anywhere else in the world. The Hindu Bali religion, or Hindu Dharma. Religion means life for the Balinese, and life means religion. Even in the centers for tourism, every day the Balinese place offerings on the ground for the chthonic or elemental forces directed towards the earth, while offerings in the household shrines are directed to the ancients, to the heavenly gods. This image of two complementary poles, the low and the high, the elemental and the heavenly, run through the entire fabric of the religious world of Bali. Bali almost has more temples than houses, since every house has its own house temple, and every village has at least 3 main temples. In addition to this, there are more temples for other divinities, and for every one of these temples, a feast is held every 210 days, one Balinese year, in order to maintain the harmonious balance of the cosmos. No day passes on the island without some kind of ceremony taking place somewhere. So this is not some kind of folklore tradition influenced by 25 years of tourism, but rather a vibrant, living religion. Balinese religion conceives of an orderly cosmos, which is always evolving. The universe is not merely an unorganized, chaotic gathering of energy and mass, but rather every small piece in the universe has its fixed place. Every human, every animal, every plant. The force which orders the universe is called dharma. Without this principle of order, the universe would return back into chaos. In the same way that there is an orderly energy, there is always also the opposing energy, which intends and tries to dissolve and destroy order. The ideal condition is only occurring when both energies stand in complete balance with one another. The purpose of prayers, offerings, and rituals is to maintain the balance of these opposing energies. From the Balinese point of view, the earth belongs to the gods, and when we give offerings, we are only returning some of what we have received before from the gods. Every village in Bali is laid out according to a special spatial orientation in keeping with the religious landscape. In the center of the village is the village's kulkul tower, where a slit drum made from a long log is used for signaling. Here we also find the Puradesa, or temple of the village. Lying seawards, normally to the south, we find the Puradalam, or temple of death, and adjacent to it the cemetery. Finally, lying towards the heavenly direction of the mountains is the Purapusek, or temple of origins. Besides rice farming, there are also handicrafts and arts in each village. Some specialize in painting, in others carving, gold and silver work, weaving, basketry, pottery, even brickmaking. Each village has its own specialty. The Balinese were given several duties and positions by the gods, which are also reflected in their caste system. The Brahmanas are priests and religious leaders. The Kshatriyas are kings and worldly leaders. The Vaisyas are noblemen and knights. However, most of the people of Bali are not included in these castes, and they make up around 90%. Their concerns are with agriculture, trade, and handicrafts. Just as the Subak Association plays an important role in wet rice agriculture, so also does the Banjar, which is a Balinese neighborhood association. The Banjar's members are not only farmers, but everyone in that community. There are various duties of this group's members. The organization takes care of buildings and maintenance, the local market and streets, and if necessary, also for maintaining local order. Balinese women play an important role in being in charge of the household. Overall, the woman is responsible for household expenses like food, for example, education of the children and grandchildren, medical expenses, family and community ceremonial expenses. Together with harvest associations, many handicrafts, the breeding of small domesticated animals, the market, and the coffee stalls found everywhere selling coffee and food, the women often are quite independent and sometimes the only cash source for the family. For the Balinese, death means stepping into the portal of rebirth. The dead are buried in the community cemetery, located in the seaward side of the village, normally on the south. Often, many years later, when the family obtains enough money, a suitable day, chosen by the priest, will be used to cleanse the soul of the dead with fire. Priest and royal cremations can be an exception, for they may be cremated very shortly after death has occurred. After the cremation, the ashes are scattered into the sea or into a river flowing to the sea. The sun draws the water up and the rain brings it back down to the earth, and so the circle of life is completed. In every household, we find a shrine to the ancestors among the other household temple shrines. In Bali, each child is considered to be a reincarnation of a late relative who descends to live once more with the family. Of course, Bali has not been without changes having taken place. The village of Kuta and Legian, for example, which used to be a sleeping fishing village, has now become a big center for tourism. A few years back, there were no hotels at all on the southern tip of the island in Nusa Dua. After the building of the very first high-rise hotel, a regulation was issued to prohibit any more buildings higher than a palm tree. The Balinese are renowned for being such friendly hosts.
Willkommen vom bisschen dort heißt Ole. Es gibt eine 4 verschiedene Tanz heute. Erste Tanz heißt Tari Panjam Brahma, das meint herzlich willkommen.
A different world in the southern part of Bali, where we find shopping, entertainment, and hotel centers. Extreme caution is recommended when swimming on the beaches of Bali because of the very high waves and the dangerous undercurrents. As everywhere in the world, one should dress appropriately for the particular occasion and context. One should be courteous and reserved, especially at religious ceremonies. In Bali, a sarong with a scarf tied around the waist is worn to visit a temple or temple festival. Discover Bali. You will love the island and its people.